difficult to prove that one can be a good bank in a situation where many other banks are surfing through very stormy waters. With our team, we managed to have and achieve these results up to now. And of course, don't ask me too much about the end of the year, because the end of the year is still a good 1.5 months away. But I think that, in a nutshell, our results, the results that we managed to achieve until now, make us confident that 2013 will be another positive year for Banke Koper. We'll carry you through a number of figures, a number of ideas, together with the colleagues who are around the table today. Igor Radovic has just presented them, and they will follow up on some of the bits and pieces of the discussion we would like to have with you. Of course, it will be interactive, and of course, we cannot answer everything, because we normally do not like to disclose too much about, first of all, relationship with some of the customers, because that's a matter of respect to our customers. If you were a customer of a bank, as you probably are, you wouldn't like to have your situation disclosed to the media, definitely. Obviously, we have a restriction in that, which is quite understandable, but obviously also we are totally transparent with the institution and with the authorities, whom I have to say we work closely and in very good cooperation in the last few years. Without much ado, I would like to go through some of the figures in order to have you acquainted with where we stand. So this is the basic starting point I would like to highlight to you. And there are reds and greens. Greens is good, red is bad as usual, no? Like in a traffic light. First of all, Cončina stanje brutto. It's September and September. So, of course, but it takes into account most of 2013, 9 months, and it gives you a nice comparison with what happened up to last year. So you can see that our level of credits, of loans, basically, to customers, went down. Nothing new. You could expect that. The banking sector, as you can see, was minus 6.4% down over the period. We were 5.7%, so broadly in line with the banking sector. No surprise about that, because once demand for credit is subdued, is low, as it has been in Slovenia in the last year or so, more than 1 year actually, I should say in the last few years now, obviously it's difficult to show a growth in the credit activity, right, like you can see here. So, no surprise, but I would say that we were able to mitigate most of the slowdown that we could have seen in the credit activity. And that was the red part of that. When I see red, I show to you that there was, of course, some negative figures. But on the positive side, look at this one. We managed as Banke Koper to grow significantly, and significantly is with a capital S, I would say in this case, in the direct deposit here from customers. That was a combination of factors, but mainly the fact that Banke Koper managed over the course of the last few months, remember, it takes into account whatever happened last year and this year, including the big crisis that we had in the banking world, in the Eurozone, Cyprus, Greece, and everything else. Our bank, I was mentioning before, managed to prove to have a stable rating, which means the quality of our activity or business was considered to be stable and good. And implicitly, that was the best signal to the customers, and we managed to collect more deposits than in the past. And the rate of growth was definitely faster than that of the banking sector. You will see later, Alexander Minos will present to you the comparison figures with the banking sector. Definitely, we are growing up the scale in deposit. Now we are running around the 4th place in Slovenia as deposit taker institution. So We are now basically one of the pillars of the banking sectors in Slovenia when it comes to deposits. So what general public is more concerned of. So this is the balance sheet situation. As I said, we could not expect better in terms of loans activity. Business is not growing because the economy is not growing. But definitely where we could prove that we are a good bank, we did it, and the ultimate proof is in the collection of deposits in the number which is far exceeding the banking sector growth. Now let's go with the results of our operations. As you may see, again, greens and reds. But ultimately, let me point out immediately at the most important thing, which is the čistý dobytek, okay, which is definitely green. Definitely green in that it was higher than the same month last year, and itself having a profit in the course of 2013 up to September, not bad, I would say, in down, if we compare with what happened in the rest of the banking sector. We are not here to compare too much, we're talking about ourselves. As you may see, how come we managed to get to the point of having a nice, I would say, a reasonable profit for the first 9 months of 2013, despite the fact that we had very unwelcome, I would say, external factors. And the first one you can see in the operating results, which were down by 7 million. The red one, 7 million, you can see that one. But it was an external factor in that mostly it was driven by the fact that Euribor, which is the reference rate for our lending activity, went down significantly. There's nothing we can do. If Mario Draghi in Frankfurt decided that the monetary policy is accommodative, is expensive, interest rate go down, and the Euribor goes down, and that's the reference for us, and we cannot do anything about that. What we can do, despite the fact that we had less income because of the Euribor drop, and less income because also it was more difficult to recover some interest from non-performing loans, we immediately touch the levers that we can touch, and we pull on those levers, and of course the expenses. It was not easy, but we managed to reduce expenses year on year by more than 5%, which in general terms I consider a very good achievement. Everything taken into account, we managed to reach business from operations, a profit from operations of 20 million. To go down to 8.2 million, of course we had to take into account the provisioning, the provisioning against loan losses. But here we had a very important, I would say, turning point. Because if you look at the postal indicatori, the last bits of general information that we wanted to give you, then we go into detail, what you can see is that net of crediti, the level of non-performing loans was stable. September 2012, September 2013, 11.8% level of non-performing loans ratio, which was a significant, I would say, indicator for us. This Ostali indicatori, among all of them, this is the most important for us. Why? Because if we manage to have a stable NPL level, we managed to also up in the profit and loss of the bank. We managed to maintain under control the level of provision. In fact, as of September 2013, the level of provisioning was actually lower than in 2012. The reason is that basically if you have less non-performing loans coming into our books, definitely what you have to do at this point is just to increase the coverage of the non-performing loan stock that you have. But the flow was, on the whole, quite slowing down. It was the major, I would say the best news for us in the course of the last few months. That is, the fact that non-performing loans we noticed from our business activity were not growing very much. And in fact, as you can see from the so-called line, the reservation, the provisioning line, we managed to increase the coverage The fact that non-performing loans were not growing so much in the period from September 2012 to September 2013 enabled us to grow the coverage, that is the protection of the bank against the risk that all the non-performing loans are totally unpaid. So we increased from 47.4 to 52.3 the level of coverage, which is another indication of strength. So all in all, I would say the picture, of course, could not be influenced by the fact that there was an external environment which was quite negative, Euribor going down, demand for credit going down, but we managed to perform very well, I would say, and even better than last year. And the best news, the best piece of news for us was that the level of non-performing loans was not growing. We, in the last 2 years, worked a lot together with the colleagues and the credit department to make sure that credit was under control, the quality of our credit was under control, and this is the living proof of that.